It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to do what you want to do. It's never too late to take control of your life, amen. I'm a preacher. Being honest, I've been craving a change of pace, a change of scenery, a change of living in general for some time now. I've lived in Chicago since like 2021, or I lived in Chicago in 2021 up until recently, and all other aspects of my life were progressing, but I just felt like something was still missing. I love Chicago. I will always love Chicago. I think that will always be my favorite, best city that I've ever lived in. I've only lived in a few cities, but honestly, I don't think anything can top the energy of Chicago, but I felt like my time there had just kind of ran out. Maybe not even ran out, but I just felt like there was still so much more for me to see, so much more for me to experience, so many different environments to live in. I came to the conclusion, to the executive decision that it was time to move. Now, I can't lie and say this was easy. It took a lot of thought, a lot of consideration to make sure I was making the right move and I wouldn't regret it, because like I said before, I love Chicago. I still love Chicago. So I didn't want to risk leaving everything behind, picking up and moving to a new state and potentially regretting it. So it took me a lot of months to finally make my decision. Once I really locked in that thought and made the decision that I am ready to move, I'm ready to experience somewhere else, my excitement was through the roof and I was ready to move like yesterday. Now, as you saw from the title, I ended up moving to Atlanta, and you may be thinking like, what made you pick Atlanta? And there was a few different reasons. The number one reason was I've always wanted to experience living in the South. I used to think I wanted to live in Florida, and then I went to Florida in the middle of August, and when I tell you, I fried myself. I couldn't even be outside in the daytime because it would be so hot and humid. So I'm good on Florida. I was just in Florida for a little vacation, and it just reaffirmed I never want to live here. I'm actually very good. Once I X'd Florida off the list for good, I knew that I'd be interested in moving to Atlanta, so I started researching the area more. And for one, I knew I could get a way nicer apartment than what I was paying for in Chicago, which I really liked because I was really wanting to move to a building that had nice amenities, a nice pool, grilling area, common space, just a more luxury building, because I've never really lived in a nice building. So that was definitely something that attracted me to here. I also really liked the diversity in Atlanta, because in Chicago, non-existent. If you know, you know. So that was another reason that I really liked Atlanta. Last but not least, my boyfriend is from here and is actually currently living here. But one thing that we both made sure to do before moving, especially me, he actually prompted this thought in my head, which I'm really thankful that he did, making sure that I was moving here for me and because I wanted to, and not because he was here. Because you never know what would happen. Obviously, everything's good, but you really got to think the worst in situations like that, because imagine uprooting your whole life for somebody that you're just dating and then y'all break up. Like, I would be sick. All that is a factor that brought me here. It's not the only reason that brought me here. If we were to break up tomorrow, knock on wood, that's not going to happen. I would still be really happy with my choice of living here. Finally, since I'm going to be starting nursing school soon in a few months, I wanted to live in a city that was a little bit more affordable than Chicago. I mean, Atlanta is actually kind of expensive, which I knew that going into it, but it's still more affordable than Chicago, like apartment wise. Things that I want out of a city, it is still a little bit more affordable with things still going on. Like, I'm not gonna go move in the middle of nowhere just so it's cheap. That's not happening. Atlanta was kind of the middle ground. Still a city, but a little bit more affordable than living in Chicago or other major cities. Okay, but now that I've yapped your ear off about what made me choose Atlanta and why I was ready for a move, should we jump into this apartment tour? Because I'm so excited. I love my apartment. I've been here for a few months now. No. Slow down, Savannah. I've been here 1 month, but I still love it so much. Of course, there's like regular annoying apartment things that are in every apartment complex. No apartment complex is perfect, unfortunately, even for how much you pay, which I'm realizing, but it's still fine. Nonetheless, I love my apartment so much. So let's get into this tour. All right, so let's start right at the entrance. Obviously, it's a little bit echoey because honestly, the kitchen is not really a priority in my decorating, or hasn't really been a priority because I don't like to cook. I'm not really in the kitchen, so it's a little bit bare in here, but let's still run through. This is where you guys just were. One thing that I really loved about this apartment, and when I was touring other apartments, was this little bench seating area. We don't have these in Chicago, or at least apartments I was living in Chicago, which were not this nice, so maybe that explains it. But I really love this little bench area. Now, I haven't really done too much to it yet, just because, like I said, I haven't really done much in here at all. But it's the perfect spot for me to hang Arlo's leash. Side note, I did get it up. And then there's like a little cubby at the bottom where I just put my shoes that I'm currently wearing. And it's perfect little entry space for right when you walk in the door, just to keep everything stored. Kind of zooming out to a bigger picture, this is what the kitchen looks like. I really like the layout of the kitchen where everything was just on one wall except the fridge is over here. It does have quite a bit of open open cabinets, which I'm not a fan of, which is why they're empty right now. So I don't know, I may like get some nice glassware to put in there, but then it just gets dusty and you have to dust it. So I'm not even really sure what I'm gonna do with that area. It may just stay blank forever, who knows. But I also saw someone on TikTok that took a pottery class and then they made all their own pottery and put it up there. So I think that would be really cool to put like a personal touch on your apartment as well. So who knows, may do that, or it just may stay empty. Now, one of my favorite things is we have a dishwasher. Oh my gosh, I hate washing dishes with everything in me. So I needed a dishwasher when I moved, and I got exactly that. I forgot to touch on this. You probably see that ugly black trash can that's just really messing up the vibe in the back, but sadly, unfortunately, we have valet trash in this building, which is very annoying. If you don't have valet trash, or if you're like, what's valet trash? The apartment building contracts out a trash team, and that trash team comes on certain days and certain times and picks up your trash right outside your door, which in theory, I mean, kind of sounds nice, but let me tell you why it's not. First of all, that means there's not adequate trash chutes in the building. So there's one trash chute on my floor and it's clear across the building. So the days that the valet trash isn't here, I have to go all the way over there, which is annoying. Two, yesterday they were supposed to come and nobody came, so the trash just sat out there all night. So then the hallway smelled like trash. It's irritating. And they give you this ugly trash can, but I think I'm gonna make like a DIY like trash can cover thing eventually, so it can be a little bit more aesthetic, fit the vibe in here some more. But yeah, I would much prefer just regular trash, more trash chutes on each floor, and we can all take our own trash. Oh my gosh, how could I forget one of my other favorite amenities, which is a refrigerator with a water dispenser. I love this so much because if you know me, you know I drink so much water. Like I drink like a gallon of water every single day. So having a water dispenser and not having to deal with an annoying Brita filter and having to refill that constantly, I love it so much. And just having ice, it's so convenient. I love it so much. Granted, I did have to order a new filter when I moved in here because the light was blinking red and they didn't change that, which kind of annoying, but it's fine. Overall though, the kitchen is a lot more spacious than I even need and even wanted, but it's perfect. I love how it's an entryway from the door and it kind of separates the kitchen from the living space, which we're going to get to in just a minute, and I really like that. So let's flip around and see the living space because this is where I've really been working my magic. This is my living space. Obviously I live in a studio, so my bedroom corner is over here and then my living room corner is over here, and when I tell you I took so much time to curate this into the perfect space. And if you follow me on TikTok, I documented the whole journey. So if you haven't seen that yet, definitely go on TikTok and watch me from the beginning because it's quite the transformation, I must say. I am pretty proud. I do love it a lot. Before we get into the details, the vibe that I was going for in here was just cozy, elevated luxury. So a lot of muted colors, just calmness. I love to come home to calmness. I don't like a lot of color. It's not my thing. So no, you will not see a lot of color in here, but you will see peace, tranquility, a chill vibe. Right when you walk out of the kitchen, you walk directly into the living room, and it's pretty open here as you can see, so it's an easy, smooth transition over into the living room, and then the bed is tucked back in the corner, which I really like. Mostly what saved me so much moving in here, because I left all my things in Chicago besides like my clothes and stuff, so I needed all new furniture to furnish this whole space. So TaskRabbit saved me so much in getting everything put together in here. I paid someone to mount my TV and my soundbar. They put together this cabinet. I really love this cabinet because it's just the perfect color. I really wanted there to be dark browns in here, and like I said, just a moody, cozy vibe. And I feel like this cabinet was perfect because there's storage and it's the exact color I like. Let's scoot it back a little bit so you can get more of a full picture. So I did get this couch from Wayfair, and all my furniture in here is linked on either my Amazon storefront or my ShopMy. The couch is linked on my ShopMy and it was from Wayfair. I really like it so far. It's been really good for the price. I don't know, I just feel like it's so perfect, so cozy in here. The TV is the perfect height from the couch so my neck isn't like strained up. It's so cozy. I love coming home every day and just seeing my living room like, you did that. Now turning over to the bedroom area, there isn't much lighting in this apartment, which is kind of a con, but the huge windows really make up for that. So once again, I got this bed brand new when I moved here, and I hired a TaskRabbit to put it together, and it just fits perfectly in this nook. Now you're probably thinking like, okay, it's not complete, because it's not. My goal is to put a picture up here, and then I'm waiting for 2 nightstands that I want to come back in stock, and they're gonna go on each side of the bed, and then that will probably be it for this area because I don't want to overcrowd it with too much. I thought about putting a rug under here, but There's already a rug in the living room. It's too close together. I don't want it to be too much. Once I get some nightstands and a picture above the bed, this area will be complete. Now, the last thing that I feel really elevated this space and just makes it so cozy that we haven't touched on yet is these curtains. I hung them all the way from the ceiling, so it kind of gives a luxury hotel vibe, and it just completely makes the space. When I didn't have curtains up, it just felt like incomplete. It wasn't all the way together. And once this wall of curtains came together, it was just, ooh, chef's kiss. It just looks perfect. So as you can see, there's only 2 windows right here, and then this is a wall, but I still hung the curtains across the whole wall to make it look more cozy, make it look more hotel-ish vibe. Honestly, I just think hanging it across the whole wall gives it a more elevated appearance. And of course, always got to hang the curtains from the ceiling. Curtains, no regrets. They're perfect. If you're looking for curtains, they're in my Amazon storefront because they're amazing. I've used them in all my apartments since I first moved to Chicago, and they're perfect. They let in just the right amount of light, but not too much. They have so many different colors. All right, now the only other downside for this apartment was the storage space is very limited. This is the only closet in the whole apartment. There's no entryway closet, nothing like that. So my clothing space was very limited. Now, luckily, I don't have a lot of clothes, so that wasn't really the issue, but I do have just like a lot of crap that just needs to be stored places. So if we turn the camera down a little bit, you can see down here, it's just kind of like random crap. One thing that I did bring from Chicago was my shoe racks that I've had forever, from Target actually, and they fit perfectly in here. So thankfully all my shoes fit on each side, and then I have space in the middle, and all my hanging clothes fit up here. And then I just have some room for some extra blankets and comforters, sheet sets up at the top of the closet. But other than that, there's not much storage space, but we're making it work. The bathroom for a studio apartment is amazing. I mean, look at this shower. Look at the material. It's so amazing. Only other con that I have in here just comes back to the lighting. The lighting is super yellow, so I did have to add a light strip all the way around the mirror because otherwise there was no vanity lighting and it was just kind of dark and yellow in here. But with the lighting that I add, it's perfect. Luckily, they did have these racks here behind the door, so this is where I hang all of my non-hanging clothes, or where I put all my non-hanging clothes. Right here, once again, like I said, I don't have a lot of clothes. I wear staple pieces, so my closet is pretty minimal, which I like. I would like to do something to cover it up. I got a lot of recommendations, and I actually kind of thought about like hanging a curtain rod and putting a curtain there, but I don't know, it might just kind of look too much, honestly. I just always have my door open like that and it hides it back there. So for now, this works. And of course, in-unit washer and dryer was non-negotiable for an apartment. Like what? Struggled enough in Chicago in my cheap apartments, we needed the laundry. And now my favorite part, my walk-in stand-up shower. I love, love, love this so much because I hate bathtubs. Like I don't take a bath. Something about just sitting in the bath just doesn't do it for me. So I love that I have this spacious walk-in shower. There's a little ledge and an indent over here for my shampoo and all my shower products. So I love this shower so much. The only thing is, of course, since it's a glass door, it does need to be squeegeed. And do you think I have a squeegee yet after living here for a month? The answer would be no. But overall, I have no complaints. I'm so excited for this new journey. As you can tell, I'm super happy living here. I love my apartment. I love Atlanta so far. The heat, the humidity. Ooh, people told me, but I was like, oh, it's humid and hot in Chicago. Like, it's fine. No. It's a different type of humidity here. This is that southern humidity, and it's definitely hot. I've just been trying to find my go-to places. I did finally find an eyebrow place, which was crucial, but I've just been trying to get into a new routine, a new vibe here in Atlanta before I start nursing school here in a couple months. Overall, no regrets. I definitely made the right decision. It was definitely something that I needed, a new start, new beginning. Fresh scenery, fresh environment, leaving everything else behind in Chicago and just starting completely new. I'm not mad, and I would do it all over again 10 times. Thank y'all so much for sticking with me in all these different eras, or if you're new, thank y'all for joining me on this new journey, this new adventure. Definitely more videos coming, and if you want to see me more often, like daily, I'm on TikTok. I'm definitely going to be more present here because I can't wait to take y'all along with this new journey. Like, I'm really completely changing my career, going back to school, living in a new city. It's just so much going on, but I'm blessed. I'm happy. I have no complaints. It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to do what you want to do. It's never too late to take control of your life, amen. I'm a preacher, but no, for real. Honestly though. Bye y'all.